I was going to put a banner on the bottom, but I can't make up my mind which one. Let's do this, and this is next. It makes sense. I was just going to put one to Mark, but whatever. What do we got here? Who's talking? We got Chipper Clifford. No, I meant to put the banner up before I started it. I actually started it 3 minutes early. Hey, Carol. I got to get pasta. I got to put some more in the freezer. These are actually my grandkids, but he's not here. So, went fishing today, and it's like we stayed longer than we planned because we were having fun, and it got hot. So, me and Leland hadn't got to go fishing together in freaking forever. We would have liked to have done a little bit more catching, but oh, y'all got more rain last night? We didn't. Hey, Chipper, can you still register? You need to do check on something for me. Can you still register a boat? You used to could. You could register a boat in Arkansas with just a bill of sale. Hey there, Savage. Check into it because I found a rather affordable pontoon boat, but it doesn't have a title. But I can get a bill of sale and stuff. And if I can get it. You can do all that in Arkansas, and then I can buy it from you, and then I can do it over here. We used to do it in Texarkana. None of the boats I did in Texarkana I'll bring home with me, though. Then you're going to have to come get it. I don't have to bring the boat over there. Just the paperwork. I'm going to drive the boat over there for you to get it registered. You can't do a salvage title on a boat in Texas. Texas is really, really hard to get a boat title. It's actually in the little manual for doing stuff. It's big bold letters. Do not buy a boat without a title. You cannot get one. There were people buying boats out of state and bringing them to Texas, and they didn't own them. And they were filing for, salvage titles and this, that, and everything else. Anyway, they nipped all that in the buds back in, I think they ended it all in the 80s. It's like next impossible to get one now. Hell, they'll take your boat and your boat motor if you can't produce all the paperwork for it. When they pull you over on the water, you got to show them all the paperwork, or that's it. Thievery, Savage, plain and simple. Like all these people selling these parts vehicles on the internet. They don't have a title for it because they never paid for it. There's a big old lien against that at the bank somewhere. That they don't own the truck, they can't sell it for parts, but they do. I bet if you're found to be operating a vehicle in an unsafe condition, they can write you a ticket for it. Here, if they pulled you over for a taillight being out or something like that, if you had an inspection sticker, they just give you a warning. And if you went and got it fixed, you're okay. But they just repealed the inspection sticker. So they're going to go back to just writing people tickets for having stuff that don't work. Hey, Cortez. People trying to do what I want to do. Register it in another state and re-register it over. Anyways, did y'all hear about Texas being invaded? Now. I bet you $5. Them kids that got cut on that wire trying to cross where there was razor wire, tried to cross where there was razor wire because over on the other side, to the south of that wire, there was some drug cartel member holding a scary black thing to his mama's head or his little sister's head or his little brother's head or his daddy's head or something. They nobody over there. They no little kid over there stupid enough to try to climb over razor wire. The only reason that kid would try that is because he was trying to save his life for somebody else's. That's and it worked. They're going to use that to I don't know, but I mean, I'm tired. These half measures by our governor and stuff are about to annoy the snot out of me. Our legislature needs to make it a capital offense to enter our state illegally, which means even if you get to stay in the country after court, you will spend the rest of your natural life in prison. And let them spend the rest of their life making big rocks little rocks with a little tiny hammer. Give them that meat vegetable loaf stuff the Arizona sheriff was giving those guys in water. Send the juveniles to a re-education camp. First, strip them of their native language and teach them to hate the color green. I'm sick and tired of all the people if it weren't for the illegal immigrants, nothing would get done in this country. That's a load of shit. Several of my good friends compete with illegal immigrants for their job. The end. Now, it's true that it's hard to get people to shovel cow shit for $8 an hour. But hold on. Don't know why the phone was forwarded to my phone. Sorry about that. No, I just like the ringtone. You give a man a house big enough for his family, work truck, $400 a week, $450, pays utilities, and help him do all the paperwork it takes to get his food stamps. It's damn good money to be a good life to be had as a farmhand. And a lot of people know that. I mean, at $400 a week, $450, that's free freaking money. You still get they play the numbers or whatever whenever they do the paperwork on the food stamps. So, these guys, they got a wife and a couple of kids in the house, so they get $600-800 a month in food stamps. It shows that they're paying their own utilities, but they're not. The farmers paying the utilities. It's bullshit. They won't run any of those farmers in for food stamp fraud though. Don't get me started on that stuff. I have no more use for the farmers that do it like that. Well, we couldn't make a living. You're living in a $550,000 home. You're driving a $500,000 cotton stripper. You had a $60,000 cotton stripper that was doing just damn fine. And there's a guy that's got several of those $500,000 cotton strippers that would come in and strip your cotton for nearly nothing. You're making plenty of money. It's hard work. You earn it, except for the government, the subsidies part. If you can't make it farming, quit. Passed the field today, and I know that guy's farming for the insurance money. He's not. He knows he ain't never going to make a crop on that cotton on that field. He's never going to make cotton on that field. He knows it. He's just got to get lucky about once every 5 years and make just enough to take it to market. And then they'll keep letting him buy the insurance. And as a matter of fact, the bank will loan him money to buy the insurance. It's because the bank gets their money back off the insurance company. It's yeah, there's good money to be made working on a farm. It's just whether or not people are willing to do it. There's real good money to be made as a concrete worker. If you can, it's not that there's not U.S. citizens trying for the jobs. It's just they're not hiring them. I mean, they're charging the same amount of money per hour for the illegals, but the guy that runs the company gets to keep more money and pay the illegals less. It's not that he couldn't find people willing to do the work. It's just that he wouldn't be able to have his Lear jet and his little helicopter flying around shooting hogs and shit if he did it right, if he hired people that were paying income tax, property tax, and stuff. If he hired U.S. citizens, he wouldn't be able to do that. I'm just saying. It's not just the illegals that are the problem. It's the people willing to work the illegals. If you can't afford to pay for your dry cleaning, which means, they pay the people working in them sweat factories a decent wage so that they can afford to pay for child care and stuff while they're there doing it. Then don't get your stuff dry cleaned. Don't go to the laundry and get your stuff laundered and pressed. I mean, if you can't afford to do it, just don't do it. There you go. If the supervisors and the foremans, or if the surveyors and the foremans and stuff, were speaking Latino and nobody, they, unless one of the supervisors was Hispanic or bilingual, they could speak English. There are a lot of illegal aliens out there that speak English really well. They just will not do it, which is annoying. Anyway, we really got to do something with it. I'm not opposed to making sure the fences are all connected really good and just put a random charge on it to where they never know whether the electricity is going to be going through it. So they might be okay crawling through it 1 minute, but the next minute there might be like 5,000 volts going through it. You know, cook 4, 5, 6 of them little guys, gals, bambinos, and the other. I mean, they cook them. I've got no pity for them anymore. I've got no pity for the people that work them. No use for them. Well, they're good people too. Well, they can be good people at home. Yeah, that's how I feel about it. I do. I'm done with it. Too many friends and family doing without because, oh, but my grandfather was illegal, and if blah, 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 I wouldn't be here. That's right. You wouldn't be here. You're here because your grandfather was a thief. He stole a living from this country. He stole entry into the country. It's not that freaking hard to get over here legal. It's really not. Well, see, there you go. There's the problem. I mean, those guys shouldn't have been on the crew. You can't be born and raised in the U.S. and not speak English. Or you shouldn't be able to. Yeah, I mean, I worked with guys that had green cards. They literally came over for the season and then went home. Didn't have a problem with them. They had it's not Social Security number. They have another number. But they shouldn't be able to get that number if they're already over here illegally. They should have to get that number. I mean, they apply for the job. The employer says, yeah, they can have the job, give them the green card. And if you can show that that person is qualified for the job and that you're going to work him, boom, it's $1,500. They get the green card. It's like $5,600 or something like that. The difference is if you come over, if you do it like that, you've actually got to pay all your taxes and stuff. Everybody knows where you're at. You can still do the thing where you come over here and you stay in the wetback shack. Migrant housing. You know, a trailer house with sleeping little air mattresses lining the wall and 20 men sleeping in there. 2 bathrooms. They all take turns in the shower. They all use the same kitchen. They all sleep. They get up, they go to work. Those things were all over Scurry County. I literally don't have a problem with people coming over here legally. We're going to need to go somewhere else with this conversation. The people coming over the border, the news will show the odd kid or whatever, whenever that we do something like the floating barriers or the razor wire, then all of a sudden some kids show up, some women and kids show up. But before we put that stuff up and it made it hard, the only people coming over were between the ages of 18 and 30, and they were men. They weren't starved to death. They weren't wearing rags. They weren't wearing loincloths and flip-flops. They've all got, several of them look like they got some pretty expensive haircuts. Good clean fingernails. I don't think we need that many. There's the kids around here are all fleeing this part of the country because there's no work. You can't get on anything. You can't get on a crew because 1 or 2 guys get on there with papers, and then they start hiring everybody with manufactured papers, and the owners of the companies don't care. Again, they can charge $100 an hour for this guy, but they're only having to pay him $10 an hour as opposed to $18 an hour. They're not going to cut their own Achilles heel. They're just going to take the money and run. You know, if they got 20 hands like that, let's see, 2 times 8 is 16. Put a 0, it's 160. It's $160 an hour that they're making. For doing nothing. So, well, that's 160 bonus hours or bonus dollars that they're making. You know, they were already getting to keep, probably $20 an hour off of each hand they had. So $400, they were already making $400 an hour. Now they're making an extra 106. That's 560 bucks an hour. What their little company's bringing into them. Woo woo. Buy me a boat, buddy. If I made 460 bucks an hour, I'd work about 3 hours a day, about 2 days a week. Yeah, that'd be it. What do you want? It is 31 minutes to supper time. Look at me off the side of your head like that. I will poke you in the eyeball. Come on. All right, Steve. Thanks for coming in. Aren't you supposed to be like guarding something or something? Not guarding anything, are you? What? You're not getting anything to eat for 30 minutes. Supper time, the same time every night. Every night. Every night. Every night. That way you go poop at the same time every time. I already ate, but I don't feed the dogs until 9 o'clock. Dude, I don't know what you did to your foot, dude. Vet says ain't nothing wrong with it. I think you're just faking it. Feed him at 9. Let him go outside, run around until about 10, 10:30. They come in, they sleep, usually till about 6 o'clock in the morning. Somebody's been waking up, warning out at 5 o'clock. I let them out. I give them a little bit to eat in the morning. But they're kind of supposed to chase rats and rabbits and stuff during the day. Ain't none of them starving. Sadie, I've cut her food back 3 times and she's still. This guy's still filling out, so I know I ain't starving him. I tried letting him eat at his own deal. I had just had him food out or whatever, but the old dog goes in there and gorges on it to keep him from being able to eat, and then goes off out in the field and vomits it out. Digs a hole, vomits it into the hole, and buries it. So I quit doing that. I was talking about you, not Gee. You quit trying to get up in bed and we're gonna have issues. The chair is one thing. You don't sleep with me in bed. Quit clawing me, man. You've already made me bleed. Look at that. See that's a leak. What? I'm gonna cut those off. Take a pair of wire cutters and cut the dew claws off front and back. And then I'm gonna staple your ears together through your nose. Okay. You won't be able to see where you're going or breathe. Then what are you gonna do? You don't do nothing. Just be blind and sniffers and deaf. Blind, deaf, blind, and scentless. May tape your mouth shut. Then you be hungry too. Then you be a mute. Anyway, I don't know. I don't think there's any way to fix the southern border. I don't think there's any way to fix the northern border. We could probably do a lot of good if we would just, if we could just get Trudeau to go on an elk hunt or something, and maybe like have him wrestle a grizzly bear naked while covered in salmon oil. While nobody was allowed to have a handgun or injure the grizzly bear in any way. And then Canada might get better. Quit having to worry about it so much. I don't think. I'd really like to know just exactly how many people are coming south. And if as far as that goes, I mean, they're really welcoming and open and stuff. I guess we could just literally put all the people that come into Texas on freight trains, and we could just bullet them through and go ahead and let them cross the northern border. And I mean, they've got all that open country. They should be able to just go out there and pick them a little 40 acres and start growing ginseng or marijuana or whatever it is they want to do. I don't know. They will never make it legal to use deadly force or lethal force. That is going to be the only way to shut it down now. And I'm talking whenever we do find tunnels and stuff, it needs to be legal to mine those. Wait for activity. Wait till we know there's people in there and blast them so that they can't get back across. Or I don't know, maybe gas the tunnels, make it, and it needs to go further. Like people on this side of the border that aid illegals in coming over, whether they're drug dealers or laundry workers or pea pickers, if they're helping them get over here illegally, they need to be looking at hard time, not white collar federal prison. I'm talking, you know, felony stuff. They lose the right to vote, all that stuff. They need to be taken out of the picture. They need to lose all of their political clout. Yeah, you're talking about taking out the political opposition. What's good for the goose is good for the gander. Not high-tech surveillance. Just tell the rednecks they can shoot. Problem solved. Say, ask for volunteers for the militia. Anybody crosses that little line out there, they're going to glow in the dark. There's plenty of guys out there that are fed up with it, and they wouldn't mind. It only take a little while, but then we'd all get sued, and people would be like, I mean, no, and all the rednecks would lose their Chevrolets, and they wouldn't have nothing but cinder blocks in their front yard. Nothing up on them. That would be sad. Hold on 1 second. Whole thing about going outside and watch telephone. That's the problem. I mean, the people that there was a law put on the books when I was a young man that said if you got caught working these people, you got fined, and it was a lot. It was like $5,000 a day per illegal. And pretty sure that's still on the books. They just don't use it. That's something that they need to be doing. Hold on, I'm gonna kill the camera, and I'll start it back up when I get outside. Oops, that's not what I wanted to do. Started to hit the wrong button. There you go. I'll leave the mic on though, so y'all can hear my beautiful voice. My beautiful, peaceful, calming, relaxing, angelic voice. Or something. I think my voice is all those things. Calming, angelic, peaceful, relaxing, and stuff. Oh, cat got in the house. Everything okay with him? Cool. Oh. Y'all was wishing I had the camera on just then. I nearly didn't sit down in the chair. Oh, I have one cigarette. That's good. That's okay. Here we go. Let me turn the camera back on. I'm really close to the laptop, so I don't want to hear nobody go, ah. Well, I can't hear y'all, though. So there you go. I don't have very many Hispanic friends left in my old community, because I was very outspoken about my beliefs on illegal immigration. And there's several Hispanic churches in town, and they all hired ministers. Not all of them, but several of them hired ministers that were here on a visa. And these guys, well, a couple of them, a few of them, were very active in human relocation. They literally, from the pulpit, would talk about how it was sinful for there to be a border, and that there shouldn't be borders, and that uh, Jesus went to and fro. Jesus never left the country. See, what? Jesus never left the country. They stayed within the boundaries of Rome during his entire thing. He never left the country. Sorry. Um, Borders are actually kind of a biblical thing. Uh, God used locusts and hornets and scorpions and all kinds of things to drive people out of the borders of the land that he promised to Israel, according to the scriptures. I'm just saying, I don't know, maybe the Bible's wrong, but it's in there. Obese. That's what you are. Anyway. And I did not mind telling the guys that were doing that they were full of crap. I forget what the percentage is, but quite a large part of, was it Houston's army or Austin's army? Yeah, I don't know. Whoever the guy was that had the army that whooped Mexico's butt during the Texas Revolution, most of his army were ex-Mexicans. They didn't want to be Mexicans anymore either. We won. The end. That big river. You stay south. Our country cannot support everybody's weak and unwanted. When we were doing that, we had, well, we started letting people come to the Americas. Well, encouraging people to come to the Americas or to America, to the United States, I guess, what, 1850s, 1840s. And then by the 1860s, we were at war with each other. There's there's enough of us here. We don't need to bring in any more. And I'm all for, like, if, doctors, decent engineers. I don't think we need any German guys over here. Have you ever tried to work on a Mercedes or a BMW or something? No, Toyotas ain't much better, I guess. But I like the doctors, stuff like that. I wish they'd give me all the money that they give those other folks for opening them motels. There's actually a motel for sale locally. If it wasn't going to cost so much money to turn it around, I'd seriously consider it. But it's going to take a lot to turn it around. Excuse me one second. I lost some coffee. I'm not. Awesome. What do you want me to talk about then, Steve? And hello, Kentucky. I figured I'd have more people in here than 5. Must have run everybody out. I took my grandson on a tour of the immigrant section of town here locally. And he was like, "Ooh, these are nice houses." Yeah, aren't they though? The guys that bought the houses over there are all working illegals. They got a green card. They bought the house, and their stuff looks great. They've also got several other pieces of property that don't look bad. That's where their guys live. It's and the companies don't care. They need the work done. They will let whoever can get over there to get it done do it. And a lot of that, honestly, a lot of that's Joe Smo that spent the last 20 years telling his kids, "I want something better for you. I don't want you to have to work with your hands to earn your living. I don't want you to have to do the things I did to put a roof on your head." What? You're making $100,000 a year, dude. So you want this kid to go to college and go to debt and get out and work his way up from If he's lucky, entry level $28,000 to by the time he's 30, making somewhere around $65,000 a year. When if he would just study the trade that you're in, he could get into it and he could start at 55 or 60 a year and work his way up to over $100,000 a year in 5 years. Even the illegals can do that math. Huh? Can I have one of those? I can count from over here. Oh. Thank you. I would really like to get a chance to buy Mike Rowe a beer one day. That guy does good work. I was so proud for Leland. He got into the trade he wanted to be into, and he was on his way. Cancer sucks. But he was making more money than anybody, any one of his friends that had gone to college. If we could use some bacon seeds, High Desert. Bacon seeds and.
I was talking about him earlier to Sean.
Oh, really?
I was talking about the old Cooney Coonies. I just need to sneak over there and grab a couple when he ain't looking and bring them home.
Well, if we could find out where his place was, I guess we could drive over there and get a few. I'm pretty sure he'd sell us one or two. I don't know if we could just go there and steal them. That would be kind of wrong.
I wasn't going to steal them. I was going to sneak them.
Sneak them. Sneak. You were just going to sneak off with them.
Yes.
And just give them a safer, more loving environment. You're going to rehome them.
Yes,
oh, okay.
Not steal them.
My wife, don't shoot my wife if she comes to rehome some of your Coonies, High Desert, please. Especially don't shoot the guy driving the truck.
I thought I would steal somebody's stuff.
Liberating. Tactical relocation. They're helping you out here. Corsair says it's called liberating. Savage says it's called tactical relocation. And High Desert is laughing.
See, they understand me.
They fully understand that we need to relocate some more animals to the. We're out of pins.
We're gonna get rid of 3.
Those pins won't hold no little stubby ass pigs. They'll go right through them little holes. Yes, they will. The wire's too big. Or they wouldn't be when some pigs got here, would they? I guess not. That's what you're saying? Anyway. Oh, he said he thought it was called grocery shopping. Well, I don't think my neighbor wants us free ranging our goats anymore. Well, apparently that's his wheat. Hey, you got any goats? Yeah, where are they? Well, they're out there eating some wheat right now. Okay. All you could see was horns and heads sticking above that weed out there. There's, what's up, boss? We had a friend that used to pasture raise his hogs. What was that dude's name? The guy just down from the trailer park there in Post. He's got to the lake with us. He worked evening tower. He worked the tower on the same rig that Jack and him did. One of the days they were headed out to the lake, a buzzard went through his windshield. What was his name? Bill? Anyway, he had 3 or 4 sows out there, and he would breed them, and they would just have their piglets, and he just had them in that. I don't know, it's probably 40 acres. And he just fed them out there. You'd sell you a pig, but you'd catch the wild little bastard. Really needs to cool off. There's 3 weathers. We got 3 weathers, and most of the time they get along fine, but they're really rough on each other. The little female she's as gentle as can be. If it wasn't for the other ones, she'd probably be right here beside me, mowing the grass. I'll let her out, and she literally follows me around like a puppy dog. It's kind of annoying, actually. Well, it's not too bad until you stop and try to do something. Next thing you know, you got a goat up in your lap. It makes it hard to do anything. But if we can get her bred, then it should be really easy to. Hopefully, she'll have a little female, and then we'd have 2 goats that were tame enough to milk. Yeah, they follow you around and they'll stay really close, but what's her name? Ladybug? Ladybug is like literally right up in your stuff. I'm pretty sure she was a lap goat. She's half the age of them other ones. I don't know how it wound up with the little baby goat. That Bauer, he's huge. I need to get him isolated from the others, which is going to be hard to do now since they shredded that panel. They would get on opposite sides of this panel and start headbutting wars through the panel. And they've literally, this was welded in place. They've literally busted the welds and shredded a goat panel. Let's see. 1 headbutt equals 1 throat slit. The end. I don't play that. I don't care who, what, when, where. Baby goat, billy goat, whatever. Headbutt me 1 time and it's over with. It is not okay.
Holly's niece is 3 months old. They're life flighting her to Lubbock. They think she has meningitis.
Oh no. How does a 3-month-old get there?
I don't know.
She hasn't been anywhere close to Eli, has she? Three-month-old baby, life flighting to Lubbock, probably. Lubbock. They think it's got meningitis. AC 103.
Here's your- her text was confusing at first because she didn't type it all. She said, Holly is going to Lubbock. They are life flighting her to Lubbock. They think meningitis. I was like, Holly has meningitis? Sorry, was trying to see the commotion of the game and text you. Her niece. Okay. She's 3 months old, though.
Hey, Bob. Let's see. We got C103, Bob 942, Walter. How goes it? Nah, no. We had one billy goat that would push, and I couldn't fault him for that. Not going to call out the person that taught him that was a game, which made it very difficult to exist on the same piece of property with him. But we will not make that mistake again with any more baby goats, for sure. But a full-grown goat that headbutts can put you in the hospital or make you dead. Everybody laughs about that angry ram or whatever. No, that ram needs to stop being alive. It's plain and simple. Okay, Corsair, you are in charge. I have to go get me a cup of coffee and make me a couple cigarettes. I'll be right back. Or maybe y'all can talk the wife into saying something. Y'all.
I have nothing.
No coffee. That's okay.
You
That's all.
drink it all?
I did. I drank it all.
They said they caught 2 javelinas in Midland today.
Oh, really? That's actually bucket list is to take a javelina. not steal one, but I mean actually go pew, and make me some javelina steaks or something. There's only one alpha male allowed on this property. And that's the way it's going to be until my wife says different. That was a joke, honey. It's very, very funny. You know those big tall things that they put grain and stuff in? They call them silos. You know why? Because high bins sound weird. I was telling them. I made that joke earlier today, and me and the boy been calling every silo in the county a high bin ever since. Dear wife of mine, as soon as you cross the county line over there, coming from the lake, I mean, bam, maybe 300 yards inside, brand new brick home, stone and brick home.
Yeah. By kind of by Ira,
Well,
the road from Ira. The white stone and the grayish brick.
Yeah.
Roof.
Yeah. Okay.
Right.
I don't know what to do about our bull. I don't go in the pasture with him at all anymore. He's not mean. He's just a big baby and he wants to play. We fed him over the fence and stuff. He actually gets excited to see us. I don't know what he weighs now. We figure 400, 455.
450.
I think if we could get him a couple of little girlfriends, he'd probably settle down some.
Yeah.
We're just talking about goats over here, I think. I'd just rather stay out of the pasture than tase something. Tasing hurts. You can call it cattle prod if you want to. It's a taser. Instead of voltage to incapacitate, it's voltage to cause pain. That makes it much better. If we can't get him a he's got one reason for being back there. In case the grocery stores stop working. Right now, he takes vegetables and turns it into steak. And that's what he's there for. It's a lot easier to feed him than it is a ton of rabbits, that's for sure. To make up for that bull, we would have to have what, 200 rabbits, maybe 100, at least 100. And you got to feed rabbits. You can't graze rabbits. So without the grid, you're not going to raise rabbits unless you plant stuff for the deal.
Space spots and then go put a can like that on the space spot.
Yeah, you could do that. I guess you could build the stuff like, I mean, you can do it, but God, you're going to be working your ass off. I'd rather just put a bunch of little cows out in the pasture and just let them eat grass.
Well, that's what's good about the coonies. They're grazing. They can live off of grazing. You don't have to feed them pellets like you have to feed regular pigs pellets and stuff.
HTP, just put one in a crate and ship her the damn pig. Save me the gas money. She's not going to give up on those. We've looked locally. We can't find any. Well, not that they're not, those people really need to smoke something else. That doesn't sound like a good idea. Well, our bull doesn't act up. He's never mean. He doesn't ram the fence or anything, try to take us out. He just wants to rub on you and he wants to play. He wants to rub on you when you're out there, and he weighs 450 freaking pounds. And he's got what?
Lots of energy.
Lots of energy. He's got like 9-inch horns now, I guess. He wasn't supposed to wind up being the only animal back there. But we can't find anybody willing to sell.
They all want to sell stock show quality.
Yeah, stock show, show steers or show heifers, and we're not breeders. We're not interested in being breeders. We're in this for groceries. Hazel, you didn't want nothing to do with me. Just said you come over here.
Hazel.
Well, yeah, you got to stay off the away from the bulls when the cows are in. That's the reason. Damn sure want to stay away from a dairy bull when the cows are in. And that's what this guy is. He's a half
miniature Jersey.
Get down. Miniature Jersey and half miniature Zebu. The zebu side of him is real docile, actually. His mom don't have a care in the world. He's a good looking little bull. He's just little. If he was a standard size bull, I don't think we'd have a problem selling him, honestly. Be some rancher come by and go, hey, are y'all using that? What? See? Are you hungry too? She knows it's 9 o'clock. Yeah. Is it supper time, bro? It's Friday, huh? I ain't supposed to be talking on this damn box. Yeah. You're so fat. You don't need no food. You got half an inch of fat on. Look at that. Actually, I probably need to get you some wormer, honestly. Guess I'm never going to be a cattleman then. I ain't never beat a horse. I ain't never beat a goat. I ain't never beat a sheep. I ain't never beat a dog. I ain't never beat a chicken. I ain't never beat an animal. Goats and sheep are easy. Just take a stick and push them. Now, I have used a quirt on a goat. That will get their attention real quick. Took one time on one goat, then every goat recognized that when I had that stick, what I said went. Okay, guys, y'all gonna have to holding place for bad joke. Yeah. I'm sure being a Marine, you've probably spanked a monkey or two. Or a crayon. Hazel, you already had your turn. Go on. Sit down. Go sit down. You're a little whore. Go sit down. Okay, guys, I gotta feed the dogs. I just hold on. Come on, Hazel. What are y'all gonna do if I go on an extended vacation? Huh? Nobody wants to treat y'all like a bunch of special cases. What are you gonna do? Starve. Get your Special K. The old dog gets soft food. The other two get hard, dry food. We've tried buying them better dog food. They won't eat it. So the freaking thing they'll eat is uh, the cheap Purina or the Old Roy. That's all they'll eat. I think she got one of those quills in her mouth. She's having a little bit of trouble chewing that dry dog food. She wouldn't let me get him out. So that's on her. Yeah, you want to explain that to my dogs, Walter, and tell them that they've got to quit eating the food they. I mean, uh, fried eggs and bacon is probably not the best thing in the world to have for breakfast, but I do it every morning. I've ridden horses and ponies. The first animal I ever got thrown off was the Shetland pony. The second thing was a donkey. And then I learned not to fall off until I didn't fall off anything else again until I was 45, 46. And then I fell off of a little mare we had bought for my daughter. Actually, I didn't fall off. The saddle broke. Anyway, long story short, I landed bad, cracked 2 ribs. You could ride that horse all day long as you just put a bridle on her. You get metal anywhere close to that horse's face, and that was it. It was over with. She was going to buck. And I noticed that every time she would do that, then she would want to run right to the same part of the corral every time and then go back in the stall. So I started doing some checking back down the line on the horse and stuff, and she was they had trained her to be a bucking horse, and then she didn't buck hard enough all the time. So they retired her. They tried to train it out of her, but it didn't work. I don't think that's exactly the same thing, C103. It's better than getting bucked off a horse, though, probably. I like riding horse. I'm not any good at it. I ain't no damn cowboy. I ain't gonna lie about that. I used to be pretty good at it when I was a very young person. But I rode every chance I got up until the time I was 21, 22, 23, 24, 25. And then I just quit for a really long time. Yeah. I did kind of get hurt a little bit. I was scared to death to get on a horse for a really long time. And they see, of course, they always do that. They bring you a horse based off of your weight. Why don't you just bring me a horse that's stout enough to take my weight? A 1,000-pound animal can carry a 200-pound man just fine. He doesn't have to be 16 hands tall. He doesn't have to be half freaking draft horse. Hey, Aaron. I've ridden big horses and I've ridden normal size horses. I wouldn't get on one now because I weigh too much. But I've never ridden a big one that was super gentle and easy to get along with. Well, I was told if I could ride that pony, I could have that pony. I went out there in that pasture and tried to ride that pony. That shit didn't work out. I didn't want the pony after I tried to ride it anyway. Tried it 3 or 4 times. When the little bastard got it in his head that he was going to turn around and take a bite out of me, and I had to run for my life, I figured I was done with him. And then Craig, he comes in every once in a while. His family owns some horses. I went riding at his place a lot, or a few times. That's where I rekindled my love for horses, I guess. And then I rode in Florida. My friends had horses down there. I've only ever actually owned one horse. And that was that mare. I was always riding somebody else's animal. All right, Steve. Yeah, I'm probably going to get out of here too. Been on here a while. The missus just disappeared into the house. Um, it's been a really long day for us. She's been up since 5:30, and I've been up since 4:30. I never worked cattle off a horse. My brothers worked at a feedlot that had horses. And uh, it wasn't the horses or the cattle that steered me away from wanting to be a cowboy. It was the cowboys at that feedlot. They were all assholes, man. I I never met anybody more angry, foul mouthed, and down on every four-legged animal and two-legged animal on the planet than the 4 or 5 cowboys that were always around whenever I'd go see the boys at work. I mean, they didn't like the guys. And I was like, man, I ain't gonna be around guys like that. And turns out that cowboys are just like everybody else. Some of them are assholes, and the assholes all seem to group together. That's I ran into some of those cowboys later in life again. Still didn't like. One of them was still like seeing the cowboy business. Hello? Isn't it? It's a cool ringtone. Okay, guys. It's been real. It's been fun. That was the daughter. Um, Apparently, the deal with that little baby is kind of serious, pretty serious. Um, the mother is going to be several hours behind the baby arriving to the hospital. So our friend is going to go sit with or go to the hospital to be with the baby. 3 months old, they believe that the child has meningitis. I don't know if you people know that, but that stuff's very serious and it can take a baby out pretty quick. So, anyway, um, don't know the baby's name, just, you know, God knows who it is. So, if y'all don't mind, pray for it continually, fervently, and with believing and faith in your heart, please. And I have got to get off of here and make ready for my grandson. So, who is apparently now going to spend the night with us because my daughter has things she has to do so this lady can do the things she needs to do. So, anyway, God bless y'all. Y'all still have, do not die. Be ready in case we have to answer the call to go to the border. And it's the border runs from California through Arizona, New Mexico, all the way Texas to the Gulf. You know, the whole thing needs to be shut, not just Texas. So, stand ready to answer the call if we have to. God bless you. Y'all still have.